everybody, Wekax here and welcome to my first video of the Stanley Parable. I've actually never played this game. I haven't heard actually much about this game. So this is basically a blind playthrough that we're gonna go. It's pretty cool that I see here a computer inside a computer inside a computer. It actually shows what I'm doing on my mouse. So without further ado, let's step right in. End is never end is never the end is loading. Okay, so I guess the end is never the end. Well, you can. A lot of people say that the end is just the beginning.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay, so now we got control. This was a story, I guess. Okay, so basically, as I understood it, it's a game that there's a narrator that basically tells you what to do, what to think, what everything.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I guess I accidentally turned off that computer. Now I'm sorry for that. I wanted to see what it says. So there's a narrator who basically tells you what to do. And you can either listen to him or you can ignore them, and there's a bunch of different possible endings and scenarios to this. Well, it's not readable. I was hoping it was. So might as well save electricity and close it.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
I guess it did. It gave me more flavor text. Why are you lying? I like flavor text. No, I want the door to stay open. I want to interact with everything, and something will finally do something.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You know what? No, I'm going to take the door on the right. Why? Because he told me left, and I'm not listening to him.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Well, no voices in my head are gonna tell me what to do. I'm better than they are.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Actually, I was before he said. I would say, yeah, it is kind of a nice room.
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Yeah, I completely agreed. It was definitely worth it. And I'm going to try click
At
on
this
everything.
point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
I'm going to try to interact with everything. As I said the first time I played this game, so
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No, I'm not done. No, I don't believe you. I'm gonna go straight ahead.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
I can't go back. I can't go back. Now, even if I wanted to, I can't. I just... You know, this it's kind of strange. One day just waking up and nobody being there. Well, now the first time I'm going through, I'm gonna touch everything. Next time I'm gonna go through, I won't have to.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Ooh.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
What? I want to know who her is. Who she is. That's actually interesting. This is a game that has a lot of replayability. There's a lot of possible endings, a lot of possible scenarios. I'm going to try to unlock all of them. Not sure I'll be able to, but I'll definitely try. I don't know where I can see how much there is or anything. People told me about this game like last night. So I decided, hey, why not? Let's try it. Let's go inside the darkness.
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Let's pick up the phone. And I assumed there would be some sort of cutscene.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Whoa.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Ooh, this just became creepy.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
No, I'm not gonna press D on my keyboard. He just told me that I don't see I have another choice. I don't have anything to interact with. Let's press Z.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
No, I'm not gonna press M. No, you can't make me. No, I'm not I am worth something. You're not gonna make me. No, I'm not gonna press it. I have all day. I'm definitely 100% not going to press M. I'm going to do a lot of things here. I'm going to walk around in circles. I'll press WASD, but I'm not going to press M. Oh well. Come on. Oh, they're not going to give up. Oh well, I'll press M.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Hey, not true.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
I'll press 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Ha! I did not press 4. But if I don't press, nothing will happen, so I will.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh well.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
So Stanley is like a crazy person.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
You know what, narrator? I'll listen to you this time. I'm not going to press this button. I'm taking my hands off the keyboard and I'm not pressing it. I'm 100% not pressing it. Okay, I'll go around the room. Let's see. There's no jump key, at least no obvious one. I didn't even look at the control, that may have been a mistake. See, but the thing is, now that I will press it, because nothing happens if I don't press it, he will say, you see, I told you so.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
So I have no legs.
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again. And Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again. and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
What's gonna happen now? Loading? That's weird. Oh, so we started again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Okay, we heard
Stanley
this
decided to
before.
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You know what? This time let's be a good boy. Let's listen to what he says. We'll do this one, and then we will head out, and then I'll call it for today, and we'll continue again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
As I did. But here I've never been before, so I will try opening everything. Okay, this must be the meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Okay, there's nothing really here. Let's go. Let's go to the closed door open.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I know this room seems interesting. Oh well.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This time I'm gonna listen to him, so I'm gonna listen to him. Let's see. Executive bathroom. Yeah, this area looks really nice. Okay. I think you need to fire your secretary. She vanished. Ooh, we had a nice office.
Stepping
my
into his
boss.
manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
247. Just want to see what it says. Okay, 2845.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by
And
sheer luck.
you're just lucky like that.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Oh, I didn't even realize. Ooh, the boss here had a lot of books. Let's see. That's two of it. What's over here? Oh, and a lot. Ooh, I got lost. I got lost in the darkness. Oh well. Let's go here. Elevator thingy. Loading. There's a loading screen. Let's see where we get to.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Let's see what the answer is.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Goes to mind control or escape? Let's escape. I don't want to get my mind
Although
control.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh well, then violent as it is. I know I said
The
all
door
this.
behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ooh, this is spooky. Really spooky, actually. Well, so long, cruel world. That actually did kill me. I wasn't expecting that. Well, next time when he will say something like that, I will maybe believe him.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Haha.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
If I'm dead, then where am I now? The Stanley Parable.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Why did they change narrator? Now it's like a woman. That's weird. Ooh, this is nice.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
That's something to consider. Stanley's computer. Office layout. Corridor. This is the 2 doors. More the offices. Button sound? Okay. Credits to the people who created the game. The printer here. What's this? More endings, fewer endings, more inertia, more Stanley, less Stanley. This is actually kind of strange. Timer got to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. So that's the last place we were. If we would have waited 15 seconds, we would have a different ending. No, I don't want to be here. It's spoiling all the endings. I don't want to be spoiled. All the fun is just discovering it by myself. Oh, that's not fun when the game gives you spoilers that you didn't want to, so I will stop spoiling it and I'll just go to Stanley's computer and click it. Okay, that didn't work. Please, no more spoilers. Solitaire. I can't recognize. An employee database. Right, this is the boss room. Boss office. The screen from the development of boss's office. Okay. Not gonna go into the side room. I don't want to get any spoilers for stuff to come. I'm just gonna run and head out of here so I won't be spoiled anymore. No spoilers for me. No spoilers for me. Okay, it's just a big loop. Okay, it's a loop. Do I actually have to press restart in order to restart? Like the woman narrator said? I kind of hope not.
They're throwing a surprise party for him, for all his button pushing. Does that sound plausible to you?
Creepy room. Let's get out of it. Don't like creepy rooms. Where the hell is the exit from here? Achievement, you can't jump. Okay, I admit I tried to press jump like, I don't know, 20 times during this playthrough, and I get, oh, this looks like the exit.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
And off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now. It'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time choose.
Well, I wonder what would happen if we would press escape. Well, now probably just going to bring you back to the office again, so we can start down a new path. If someone has an advice, maybe on some sort of fun place we can go, I would love to hear it. Okay, you have paused the game. Okay, that will be all for today, I guess. It's just a black screen. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.